this. Okay. I think that works. Where did we leave off? I think it was Job 20. Yeah. I should fix my hair a little bit. How is my hair supposed to go? This way? This way I've been doing it. It's crazy to be doing it like that. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's so backwards too. How I used to do it. I used to always do it this way, right? Whatever. We'll fix it later. It's not getting fixed right now. I can see it in the reflection. Here we go. Yeah, I guess I probably should have gone further into the wilderness so I could take off my shirt again, do the pose properly. But I figure it's not that important. Alright, so Job. Forgetting where Job is for a second. Here we go. Alright. So we're continuing here from the speech of Zophar the Nanite. The Namathite. I hasten to listen to your reply, for I have answer for you, Job. You have tried to make me feel ashamed of myself for calling you a sinner, but my spirit won't let me stop. Don't you realize that ever since man was first placed upon the earth, the triumph of the wicked has been short-lived, and the joy of the godless but for the moment? Though the godless be proud as the heavens and walk with his nose in the air, yet he shall perish forever, cast away like his own dung. Those who knew him will wonder where he is gone. He will fade like a dream. Neither his friends nor his family will ever see him again, Job. His children shall beg for the poor. Their land, their labor shall repay his debts. Though still a young man, his bones shall lie in dust. He enjoyed the taste of his wickedness, letting it melt in his mouth, sipping it slowly lest it disappear. But suddenly, the food he has eaten turns sour within him. He will vomit and plunder what he has gorged. God won't let him keep it down. Isn't that right, Job? It is like a poison and death to him. He shall not enjoy the goods that he stole. They will not be butter and honey. They will not be butter and honey to him after all. His labors shall not be rewarded. Wealth will give him no joy, for he has oppressed the poor and foreclosed their homes, and he will never recover. Though he was always greedy, now he has nothing. Of all the things he has dreamed of, none remain, because he has stolen every opportunity. His prosperity shall not continue. He shall run into trouble at the peak of his powers. All the wicked shall destroy him. Just because he is about to fill his belly, he will be chased and struck down. The arrow pulled from his body, a glittering point comes out from his gall. The terrors of death are upon him. His treasures will be lost in the deepest of darkness. A raging fire will devour his goods, consuming all that he has left. That is you, Job. The heavens will reveal your sins, and the earth will give testimony, has given testimony against ye. His wealth will disappear beneath the wrath of God. This is what awaits the wicked man such as you, Job, for God prepared it for him. And then Job's replied, listen to me, let me speak, and afterwards mock on. I'm complaining about God, no man. No wonder my spirit is troubled. Look at me in horror, and lay your hand upon me, unto me, and lay your hand upon thy mouth. Even I am frightened when I see myself. Horror takes hold upon me, and I shudder. The truth is, the wicked man lives to do a good old age and become great and powerful. They live to see their children grow to maturity around them, their grandchildren too. Their homes are safe from every fear, and God does not punish them. Their cattle are productive. They have many happy children. They spend their time singing, dancing. They are wealthy and need deny themselves nothing. They are prosperous. They are ordered God away to me. They are prosperous to that end. All this despite the fact that they ordered God away and wanted none of his part, and parted ways with him, who is the Almighty God. They scoff. Why should we obey him? What good will he do to us? Look, everything the wicked touch has turned to gold. But I refuse to even deal with the people like that. Yet, the wicked get away with it every time. They never have trouble, and God skips them when they distribute his sorrows and anger. Are they driven before the wind like straw? Are they carried away by the storm? Not at all. Well, you say, at least God will punish their children. But I say God should punish the man who sins and not his children. Let him feel the penalty for himself. Yes, let him be destroyed for his iniquity. Let him drink deeply the anger of the Almighty. For when he is dead, then he will never again be able to enjoy his family. But who can rebuke God, the supreme judge? He who destroys who are healthy, wealthy, fat, and prosperous. God who destroys the deep and grinding poverty and never known anything good. Both alike are bruised and the same dust, both eaten by the same worms. I know what you are going to say. You will tell me what a rich and a wicked man who came to disaster because of their sins. But I reply, ask anyone who has been around, and he can tell ye the truth. That an evil man is usually spared in the day of calamity and allowed to escape. No one rebukes him openly, and no one repays him for what he has done. And an honor guard keeps watch at his grave. A grateful funeral procession proceeds in following him as the soft earth covers him. How can you comfort me when your whole premise is so wrong? And then another address from Eliphaz. Is mere man any worth to God? Even the wisest is of value only to himself. Is it any pleasure to the Almighty if ye are righteous? Would it be any gain if you were perfect, Job? Is it because you are good that he is punishing you then? Not at all. It is because of your wickedness and thy endless sins, Job. For instance, you must have refused to loan the money to the needy friends unless they gave you all of their clothing as they had pledged. Yes, you must have stripped them to the bone. You must have refused water to the thirsty, bread to the starving, but no doubt you gave to men of importance anything they wanted, Job, and let the wealthy live wherever they chose. You sent away widows without helping, and broke the arms of the orphans. That is why ye are surrounded by dark traps and sudden fears, Job, and the darkness and the waves of horror. If God is so great, higher than the heavens, higher than the stars, but you reply, what is why he can't see what I am doing? How can he judge through the thick darkness? For thick clouds swirl him so that he cannot see us. He is up there, walking on a vault in heaven. Don't you realize that those treading of the ancient paths of sin are snatched away in youth, and the foundations of their lives washed away forever? For they said, God, go away, God, what can you do for us? God forbid I should say a thing like that. Yet they forgot that he filled their homes with good things. And now the righteous shall see them destroyed. The innocent shall laugh. The wicked shall scorn. See, they will say, the last of our enemies have been destroyed in the fire. Quit quarreling with God. Agree with him, and you will have peace at last. His favor will surround ye if you will only admit what you are doing is wrong. Listen to his instructions, Job, and store them in thy heart. For you, if you return to God and put right all that was wrong in thy home, then you would be restored. And if you had given up all your lust for money and thrown away all your gold, and then the Almighty, then he himself should have been thy treasure. He would have been thy precious silver. Aye, then you would delight in the Lord and look up to he. You would pay him a handsome sum, and he would hear ye, and he would fulfill all of your promises to him. And whatever wish that you wished for would have happened, and the light of heaven would have shone down on you, Job, and the road would have been straight ahead. If you were attacked and knocked down, all you would know is that there would be someone who would lift you up again. Yes, that is he who would humble and save you, Job. He who would help the sinners by thy pure hands. And Job's reply to them, my complaint today is still a bitter one, and my punishments far more severe than my false deserts. Oh, that I knew where to find God, that I could go to his throne and talk with him there. I would tell him about my side of the argument, and I would have him listen to my reply and understand then what he wants. Would he merely overpower me with his greatness? No, he would listen with sympathy. Fair and honest men could reason with the just God, Lord, heaven above, the perfect judge who was anointed King of Kings. But I've searched in vain. I seek him here, I seek him there. I cannot find him. I seek him in the workshop of the north, but I scarce to see a thing. Nor can I find him in the muddy south, there too in the dark and hideous things. He hides with himself, but he knows every detail of what is happening to me. And when he has exclaimed me, he will pronounce me completely innocent and pure, like solid gold. For I've stayed the way of the path of God like an obedient dove, and followed his steps step by step, and have not turned aside. I have looked straight into those eyes and have not refused his commandments, but enjoyed them more than my daily food. Nevertheless, his mind concerning me still remains unchanged. Who could know him and his turn for my purpose? Whatever he wants to do with me, he does it. So he will do to me all that he has planned, and there is more still to be done with me ahead. No wonder I am so terrified in his presence. When I think of it, terror grips me. God has given me a fainting heart. He, the Almighty, terrified me with darkness all around, thick, impenetrable darkness everywhere. Why doesn't God open up the court and listen to my case? For I would look that Satan in the eye and say to him, why must a godly man wait for him in vain? For what a crime it is to make a wave that has engulfed all of the landmarks and moved up whole flocks of sheep and stolen them away. For even the donkeys of the poor man, the fatherless, they are all too taken. The poor, the widow, must surrender what little they have, and they have to give it as a pledge to the loan of the God. The needy are kicked aside. They must get away, and like the wild donkeys in the desert, the poor must spend all they have to just getting barely enough to keep the soul of their bodies together, and reap what little they have in the desert. They are sent into it to search for food for their children. They eat what they must find, and it grows in the wild, the muck, and they must, even the gleam of the vineyards and of the wicked. For I've seen it with mine own eye, for I am Job, you see. All night they lie naked in the cold, without any clothing or covering. They are, sorry, I said a lie just now. I added into the story that I was Job, and that is not true. For I would never say a lie to my children without a straight eye to look back at them, you know. I realized that the eyes are crooked and I should have done like that, but then I realized it sees straight on. So it's hard for me to understand with these fucking computers. Which eye do I even stare at, you know? Which eye would be proper for they focusing? If I thought about it, I could figure it out, because I understand lenses, but I didn't want to do that. So think about the way this lens, because fucking the way these sorts of lenses is different from normal standard lenses that they don't have the space. It has to be fucking right up a piece of fucking sensitive paper that has a billion fucking images on it that have the same amount as the screen that are inside of that, because there's no fucking lens difference. Now they give it a little bit of room so they can have some sort of distance, because that's fucking insanity what they were doing with that technology. I'm telling you, I know how this shit works. I just don't think you should be always using things that you can't pay for all the time, you know? Alright, where were we? If this phone goes away, that'll be fine. I've been talking to the birds for quite a long while, and we have a good relationship, me and the birds. So, tweet away on that. Alright. Where are we? I completely lost why have you done this to me, God? Made me lose my place in mid-step of this phrase. Oh my glory. My knee is a little bit sore here. I can fix it. I know how to. You just have to lift it, push it, and I have to basically turn over the kneecap a little bit. I've been walking differently.
because I prefer it. But my kneecap is getting used to it, so I have to stick my fingers underneath it. Ooh, that's it. Sorry, let me where are we here? Oh wow, okay, so this is gonna get really... I can't read where I've already gone before because you guys will realize that I've been ad-libbing the fuck out of this. I'll be like... Okay, here are we. The wicked snatch up fatherless children from their mother's breasts and take a poor man's baby as a pledge before they will loan him any money or grain. That is why they must go out and be naked. Wait, Job is saying this? Oh no, he's... The wicked snatch fatherless children. Okay, oh no, I get it. Yeah, aha. That is why they must go about and be naked without clothing and are forced to carry food while they are starving. They are forced to press the olive oil without tasting it and tread out the grape juice as they suffer from thirst. Sorry, 1 second here. We'll take a break for a second. Just a little intermission. I hope I'll get used to this walking fast. Boy, because that's kind of annoying. Shouldn't be too long. I always walk with my foot outward. I want to walk with my feet inward because it's better for balancing on small things. I'd like to... I'm not French, not a pedophile. When I said that, I like to do tight ropes. I don't do it for little children. I do it for the Peter Pan in all of us. See, these metaphors are hard because when I look at people, I see like children everywhere. That's hard. I see a look at old man, I see look at that little baby. I see a 40-year-old like guy with his girlfriend, and I'm like, look at that, like definitely that toddler. That sounds me. I'm working through these metaphors. Also, important lesson for everyone here. It's not wrong to court court. I think most people should actually have a young wife. I think that's actually, people should probably get married when they're like pretty young. But men so not until they're men. And so men should like do something first. So yeah. I'm trying to think, because people, a lot of people are pent up about these days. It's like, and it's something to do with the language of our languages. And so we can use the darkest things. Oh, we have to make the line between the darkest things and the lighter things correct. That's the problem, you know. And there's nothing more beautiful than like young love between like a man and a beautiful woman. So when are women that's a case by case thing. Like, what do you find you're talking about? Know your community and know your people. Be gracious. You know, I was molested recently. I let a pedophile. I've had lots of men try and suck me off, and I basically just didn't put up a fight. And it turned out afterwards he was like a straight up pedophile and had molested many boys, and I thought, this is going to be fun for you, and that's why I let you did. That's why I'll let you sin against me. It's kind of funny though, because it's like, I'm angry at him, but then I'm like I'm angry that I had his spit on my penis. But then I have to think about, well, should he be angry that he has my penis on his mouth? And he's like, no, he actually likes that, and that's how like secretly going down to hell that man is. So, by the way, probably what's going to happen here very soon is that when the singularity begins to happen, everyone will be able to read people's minds like I can, and it'll be too much for many to bear. So, and then, maybe then, you will understand what it means when I say that I am thy Lord Christ. So, let's divide some things real quick, as I just did. I love children. I really love women. There we go. Did you see that? Did you see how I divided the water so easily? It's not that hard. Like, could you imagine not saying it like the way I did? Could you imagine? Yeah, exactly. So, I see people and I'm like, what would you do if you were on an island? You know, what would you do if you were on an island? Now I'm thinking about it, I never thought about that. Yeah, I would, actually I know exactly what I would do. And it would be completely not sexual. It would be like, okay, because this is a terrible metaphor. Okay, and I'm not going to talk about it out loud. Because why would I? I mean, if you're smart, you already know what it is. And you already understand what my answer is to it, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, it's Return of the Empire. So what you do is I'm going to take the toddler and I'm going to cut them in half, and I'm going to lay inside of the toddler to stay warm. No, that's not what you do. What you do is you make that person fucking mad. You make that person like spear. Yay. Dude, I'm so fucking fearless. It's so fucking crazy. See, the thing is, people want to judge me on my morality. You guys are just fucking pussies, dude. You don't understand. You're so far away from knowing the fullness of this place. So, cast your arrows. I will sit here, because I decided to say the worst thing I ever said on camera again. Yeah, retards. And who did I need to say it for? Why would I do this? Do you think I have some confusion? I have some confusion, but those confusions are... Actually, I don't. I guess I'd be confused whether or not I had confusion. I should probably just get back to reading, shouldn't I? Yeah, let's just get back to reading. Alright. Okay. The wicked snatch fatherless children from their mothers' breasts and take poor men as they force. But how quickly they disappear from the face of the earth. Everything they own is cursed. They leave no property for their children. Death consumes sinners as drought and heat consume snow. Even the sinner's own mother shall forget him. Worms shall feed sweetly on him. No one will remember him anymore. For wicked men are broken like a tree in the storm, for they have taken advantage of childless and the protecting sons. They refuse help. They refuse the help of the needy widows. Yet sometimes it seems as though God preserves the rich by his power and restores them to life when anyone else would die. God gives them confidence and strength and helps them in many ways. But though they are great now, yet in a moment they shall be gone like all the others, cut off like heads of grain. Can anyone claim otherwise? Who can prove me a liar and claim that I am wrong? No way, I don't want to be casting out accusations all the time. I am very in touch with people, and so I reflect things. I don't force anything. So oftentimes people get upset with me, and I don't know why, in a sense, because I'm thinking, why are you upset with yourself? I'm not doing anything. Don't worry, you'll get used to things like that. They'll become more common, and it's just quantum mechanics. I'm not sure how good the audio is. Never mind. Ow! I'm gonna stop talking about quantum mechanics. This shit pisses me off. It's not called that. I don't necessarily even know what quantum mechanics is, to be honest, because it's not accurate. I know it's accurate because they're saying that theirs doesn't work. And like, okay. Obviously, it's right to a great degree because that's how I learned what it was and learned a lot about how the world works. But there's a confusion in there, and it has something to do with them thinking that like baryons are important or something. No, I'm kidding. Baryons are important, but you have a name for every particle, and at a certain point, you need to realize that you're talking about something that's more like a natural organism. And you're talking about a kidney and a spleen and all these things, and you're looking at how they fit. And I'm like, guys, you should be looking at the principle of organization behind it. What's the principle behind evolution? You know what I mean? 'Cause that seems pretty obvious as far as like a tree. Evolution is literally a fucking tree. Evolution is literally a manifestation of dividing waters. A tree is a manifestation of dividing waters. Manifestation of orbits, of coming around and finding the right moment to enter. That's what it is. A tree is like this symmetric dance with reality, with the earth and with the sky, with the heavens and the earth. The tree of knowledge and the tree of good and evil, you know what I mean? Both those being in one. It's a single tree, guys. I've drawn it before, I know what it looks like. You can also portray it as a two dualities, because then you have Adam and Eve, then further division of the waters, and in a tree you at least have a forest, you know, it's like, fair enough. So I'm not really saying anything that deep. Draw it the way you want, but I'm explaining it to you. Do you understand? Hopefully you're beginning to understand that I didn't invent language so you guys could do verbal warfare. It's not why I invented it. The reason why I invented it was to bring everything together. The word is one word and you are of it. What does that mean, you know? Follow me and ye will be saved. I am but I am. Okay, who can prove me a liar and claim that I am wrong? Further reply from Balad the Shite. God is powerful and dreadful. He enforces peace in heaven. Who is able to number his hosts of angels and his light that shines down of all of earth? How can a mere man stand before God and claim to be righteous? Who in all of earth's earth can boast that he is clean? God is glorious, so that even the moon and the stars are less than nothing as compared to him. How much less is a man who is but a worm in his light? Job's reply. What wonderful helpers you are. How you have encouraged me in my great need. How you have enlightened my stupidity. What wise things you have said. I'm going to say this a little bit differently. What wonderful helpers you are, and how you have encouraged me in my great need. How have you enlightened my stupidity? What wise things you have just said. Oh, good job. How did you ever think of all these brilliant comments? The dead stand naked, trembling before God in the place where they go. God stretches out the heavens over the empty space and hangs the earth upon nothing. That is what Satan is. You have to understand, when this metaphor of that we're saying that Satan is restrained at the beginning of time, like a strong man is restrained before his possessions are taken. It's saying that is a nonsense falsity, for no strong man could be restrained before his things would be taken. That's not good and not possible. Who is to do that? No one but God. And so if you're going to say that something is to exist and can be forgiven by him, that is your own blindness and the own scales from thine own eyes, from your own self-worship, you know? So, tell me again. All right. He wraps the rain in his thick clouds, and clouds are not split by his weight. The shroud of his throne, with that, he sets a boundary for the ocean, yes, a boundary for the day and night. The pillars of heaven that tremble at his rebuke, and by his power the seas grow calm. He is skilled at crushing its pride, and the heavens are made beautiful by his spirit. He pierces them gaily with the swifting glide of a serpent. Those who say some things that are minor in his presence, he merely fixes them with a whisper. I, who can withstand his power, his thunder. Job, that is my name, and this is my final defense to ye. I vow by the living God, who has taken away my rights, even the Almighty God, who has embittered my soul, that as long as I live, I shall have breath from God. He is my lips, and I shall speak no evil. My tongue will spread no lies. I will never agree that you are right. Until I die, I vow my innocence. I, Job, am not a sinner. And I repeat it again and again. I, Job, am not a sinner. My conscience is clean for clear as long as I live. For those who declare otherwise are my wicked enemies. They are evil men. But what hope has the godless when God cuts him off and takes away his life? God, listen to his cry when trouble comes upon him. For he does not delight himself in the Almighty or pay any attention to God except in times of crisis. I will teach you about God, but really, I don't need to. For you yourselves know as much as him as I do. Yet you are saying all these things, useless things to me. This is my fate awaiting the wicked from the hand of the Almighty. If he has a multitude of children, it is so that he will die in war and starve to death. I'm sorry to say that. But I'm not sorry to say the truth. So you heard it. Those who will survive shall be brought down to the grave by disease and plague, and no one will mourn for them, not even their wives.
The evil man, they accumulate money like dust, with closets jammed full of clothing. Yes, he may order them, made them by his tailor, but the innocent shall wear that clothing. He shall divide his silver among them, and every house shall be built by the wicked, as fragile as the spider's web, as full of cracks as a leafy booth. As full of cracks as a leafy booth. That's a thing that I think people used to maybe use. Anyways, he goes to bed rich, but wakes up to find that all his wealth is gone. Terror overwhelms him and he is blown away in the storms of the night. The east wind carries him away and he is gone. It sweeps him into eternity, for God shall hurl him unsparingly. He longs to flee from God. Everyone will cheer at his death and boo him into eternity. Men know how... Oh, maybe we should stop there. Yeah, we still got a lot more of Job. You know, we'll figure out that was in a good place. Just end just like in the video. Okay, I'll stop there. All right, let's do one good paragraph, and then we'll call it a day because I'm gonna get a little bit frazzled and I'm getting a little bit hungry. I have some supplies I would like to eat. Thank you. I have been saving up some supplies, so Lord, forgive me for my sin. I'm not going to forgive for that. They're still laying in the street from I grabbed them from the cans. So I won't be upset that I brought some cans into my car, for I have a mighty feast every day with ye, you know, and I don't spare it. For every day I fill up as much as I can on food. For why would I do otherwise when I've been so blessed by God, you know? So don't think that I'm some hungry baboon asking ye for a sandwich. No, I've come here to deliver you the word. And if you ever gave something to me, respecting anything in return, that would be the biggest mistake and missed opportunity of your whole life. So, if you would like to give to me, come to New Mexico and help me clean up these streets right now. That would be something kind of cool. That's something that would appreciate. I don't have a bank account, so you can't even send me money online. You, instead, should clean up your blocks. Or come here, and as I said, if you're not expecting anything in return, come here and help me clean up these streets, and that should be fun. My name is Thy Christ. That is the only thing that I can say for truth. So, blessed thee, our Father, who art in heaven, blessed be thy name. Thy will be done, thy kingdom come, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the power and the glory for eternity. Amen. Thank you. Bless you. So,